You ever get into a really nice car and the leather seats just feel incredible, like buttery soft? But here's a wild thought for you. What if that exact same leather, the stuff that feels so luxurious, also has to, well, basically explode in a fraction of a second to save your life? Sounds completely impossible, right? Well, that's the secret we're about to get into. So on the one hand, you've got this material that's designed to feel as soft as a baby's cheek. But on the other hand, during a crash, it has to tear open in just 30 milliseconds. That is literally faster than you can blink. And it has to work every single time because that's the only way the airbag can get out to do its job. So how in the world can one single material be a high-end luxury feature and a high-speed piece of safety equipment at the exact same time? The answer? Well, it's basically some high-tech magic, and it's all done with lasers. Let's pull back the curtain. Yeah, the secret is a laser. But this isn't some kind of sci-fi movie prop. It's an unbelievably precise tool that does all its work completely behind the scenes. It changes the very nature of the leather in a way you can't see or even feel. That is, until you really, really need it. The technology is called laser ablation thinning, and here is the absolute genius of it. A super powerful laser zaps away material, but only from the backside of the leather. It creates these perfectly engineered thin spots without ever touching the front, so the part you actually see and feel stays completely flawless. Probably the best way to get your head around this is to imagine a super precise electric eraser. But this eraser can remove ink from the back of a piece of paper without leaving even a hint of a mark on the front. It's not cutting, it's not scraping, it's literally vaporizing the material. So how does it pull this off without just burning a hole straight through or messing up the grain on the front? Well, it really comes down to 3 key tricks. First, like we said, it only ever touches the back. Second, a computer calculates the perfect depth to remove, down to the tiniest fraction of a millimeter. And third, the laser's heat is so focused and so quick that it's gone before it has a chance to spread. And, when I say precise, I mean it's almost hard to believe. We're talking about an accuracy of plus or minus 0.05 millimeters. Now, that number probably means nothing on its own, so let's put it into perspective. That's right, the laser is controlled to an accuracy that is half the thickness of a single sheet of regular copy paper. That is insane. This isn't just leatherwork. This is microscopic surgery being performed on your car's interior. Okay, so it's cool tech, but what does this all actually mean for you, the person driving the car? This is where it gets really important, because this isn't just about making things feel a little nicer. This is about your comfort, and more importantly, it's about what happens in a crash. First, let's talk comfort. By strategically thinning the leather from behind, you get this massive boost in softness. We're talking 60 to 80% better. This is the secret sauce. This is how car makers take a good, solid leather and make it feel like that ultra-premium, buttery Napa stuff you find in cars that cost a fortune. But the real reason this matters is safety. Just listen to this quote. It's from an actual internal engineering report. In a cold weather test, minus 35 Celsius, an airbag completely failed to deploy. Why? Because the cold made the regular untreated leather as hard as a rock. The laser thinning creates a perfect invisible escape hatch so the airbag can always punch through. It's no joke. This is literally the difference between life and... And believe it or not, there are even more perks. This tech allows designers to create those gorgeous seamless dashboards without any ugly plastic panels or cut lines for the airbags. It also shaves about 1 kilogram off the car's total weight, which is always good for efficiency. Oh, and because the leather is thinner in spots, it breathes 30 to 50% better, which means less of that sticky, sweaty back feeling on a hot summer day. All right, so now you're in on the secret. But when you're out there shopping for a car, how can you tell if it has this awesome tech or if the salesperson is just blowing smoke with a bunch of marketing buzzwords? Let's break down how this laser process compares to the old school methods. Think of this as your official scam prevention guide. So check out this chart. The old way to do this was something called mechanical skiving. Just picture using a giant, clumsy blade to shave the back of the leather. It's not very precise and you run a huge risk of messing up the surface. But then look at laser thinning. The precision is off the charts, there's basically zero risk to the surface you see, and here's the dead giveaway. It costs way more. It's a classic case of you get what you pay for. Okay, so I know what you might be thinking right now. Hold on a minute. If you're making the leather thinner, doesn't that just make it weaker? I don't want my expensive seats to rip. And yeah, that's a totally fair question. It seems logical, right? But here's the twist. It's not about how thick it is, it's about how it's thinned.
See, a mechanical blade actually tears and severs the internal fiber structure of the leather, which weakens it. The laser is way gentler. It just vaporizes material without damaging that structure. The key takeaway here is that a thin piece of really high-quality leather is actually much stronger than a thick piece of cheap leather.
All right, myth number 2. Is this whole laser thing just a clever way for car companies to use a little less material, cut some corners, and then slap an innovation sticker on it to save a few bucks? Nope, not even close. In fact, it's the total opposite. This laser process costs 3 to 5 times more than the old-fashioned methods. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar investment just to buy one of these machines. Car makers aren't doing this to save money. They're spending a fortune to invest in a safer, more comfortable, and genuinely more luxurious product. So, to wrap this all up, let's boil it down to a quick and easy cheat sheet. This is the stuff you can actually use the next time you're in a dealership and a salesperson starts going on about the premium leather interior. Here are the 3 things you need to remember. Number 1, the really advanced tech is invisible. It's all happening on the backside. Number 2, precision is everything. Thin does not mean weak, it just means it was done right. And number 3, that incredible softness isn't a sign of a shortcut. It's a sign of serious engineering and a huge financial investment. So the next time you sit in a luxury car and admire that beautiful, clean, seamless design, just remember what's hiding right beneath the surface. It turns out the softest touch can hide the strongest protection, all thanks to a little bit of invisible laser magic.